Big shine bright. So thank you all for coming all the way from Maryland up to Westchester, Pennsylvania. And thank you, of course. So Dream Big, Shine Bright, illustrated by, who illustrated this beautiful?
I didn't.
No, I know you didn't, but who did? Mr. John Hannafin. So let's get started. A restless girl named Molly felt unheard and unseen. While in her attic bedroom, she could not help but think about all the things that were going wrong in this world. So Molly wanted to help, but didn't know how. So as soon as she laid her head on her pillow, she got an idea. As she was going to sleep, all these negative thoughts were just coming through her head. Do you ever have negative thoughts? Do you ever have things that kind of junk up your head? Well, good job. Well, Molly did. So instead of trying to fall asleep, she decided to take out a pen and paper and began to write a letter to Mother Earth. So, dear Mother Earth, I'm sorry we're cutting down your forest, dumping garbage in your oceans and rivers, and filling your sky with pollution. In addition, it saddens me to see people not treating one another with kindness and compassion. So I'm only one person. I feel like there's nothing I can do to protect you or the people who live here on Earth. Please tell me what I'm supposed to do to put all the goodness back in the world and save you from suffering. With much love, Molly. She fell asleep. When Molly awoke to her surprise, she was well rested and ready for adventure with a new sense of hope. However, something was different. As she looked around, she not only found herself in a new room, but also in a beautifully restored carriage house. Could it be? Did Mother Earth answer her letter already? Molly looked out the window of the carriage house and felt like today was going to be different than any other day she had ever experienced. She immediately ran down the wooden stairs and pushed open the front door. There was a path that was calling her name. She became scared, but then quickly said to herself, change is good. So after traveling the unknown path for a few miles, Molly became weary and wanted to stop to take a rest. At that moment, she began to smell something fragrant and decided to push herself a little harder. The path soon ended and her eyes opened wide. She was greeted with a field of red poppies as far as her eyes could see. A yellow butterfly fluttered around her, almost telling her where she was to go next. Although her path was gone, she felt that the butterfly had a message to deliver, and she decided to go through the poppy field. So Molly became thirsty from all the walking she had done. She looked to the sun and then turned to her butterfly guide and asked for help. After a few more steps, she heard water rippling as though the river was nearby. As sound grew louder, the butterfly took her to a clearing in the forest. The butterfly circled around Molly's head one last time and swiftly returned to the sky, thanking the butterfly for its help. Molly entered the forest and continued to follow the sounds of the rippling water. She soon arrived at the water source and was able to quench her thirst. Not certain where to go next, she jumped in feet first, kept her legs up, and went traveling down the fast river. Mother Earth was certainly giving her a ride to be remembered. The river eventually dropped her off into a still body of water. She knew that her water adventure was quickly coming to an end. She eagerly looked for what could be next. To her surprise, Molly was greeted with yet another path, but this time it cut through a field of, what is it, Tyler? Sunflowers. Sunflowers were her favorite. They always gave Molly a sense of pure joy and inspired her to share her joy with others. She ran and ran and ran until she couldn't run anymore. As she sat down to catch her breath, Molly stopped to think about what she had written to Mother Earth. It was becoming clear that Mother Earth was playing a role in this adventure. But what exactly were the lessons that Mother Nature were trying to tell? So filled with happiness, joy, and faith, Molly got back on a path and continued her adventure. Feel free to pull up a chair. Absolutely. Welcome. Sure. We'll catch you up. Molly's just in the middle of her adventure, so we'll catch you up what happened next. So filled with happiness and joy and faith, Molly got back on the path and continued on her adventure. She soon came to a divide in the sunflower field and presented with yet another challenge. She had an important decision to make. Does she stay on the path to the sunflowers or explore an overgrown field of wildflowers? What do you think that she should do?
Explore the wildflowers.
Yeah, let's see if that's what Molly does. Let's see. Confused with which path to take, she suddenly heard the wind whisper, "Take the path less traveled and reap your reward." She took the risk and entered the field of wildflowers. Well done, Tyler. You must have heard this before. As she looked up to the sky, she noticed how puffy the clouds were and how clear the blue sky was. Molly could not remember the last time she saw Mother Earth in a state of bliss like this. So Molly soon noticed that the sun was getting ready to set. Although she had thoroughly enjoyed her day of adventure, she still did not know where she was or how she was supposed to get home. Hunger was also beginning to set in, and hunting for food, well, that's not an option. So she knew she had to come up with a plan and fast. Then far away in the distance, she saw a silhouette that looked to be in the shape of a house. Could it be true? Do you recognize this building in Westchester? Anybody recognize it? What is it?
Westchester Library.
The Westchester Library. As she walked closer to the structure, she noticed a sign at the end of the driveway, "Library closed." Looking disappointed, she was not about to give up. Molly went to the front door, and guess what it was? Was it opened or was it locked? I like your positive thinking. But no, it was locked. It was locked. So what do you think she did? What do you think she could have done?
Sneaked in the window.
That's a good idea. Let's
The window was locked.
Okay, let's find out and see what happens. So she ran to the back door in hopes that someone forgot to lock it. Molly screamed with joy. Fabulous! It's open! Oops. Somebody forgot to lock the back door. The first thing she did was look for the refrigerator. It was filled with fruits and vegetables. Slightly confused, Molly was not about to pass up dinner. It was a very long day. So, next she began to read as many books as she could about not only how to protect Mother Earth, but also setting and achieving goals, writing and speaking persuasively, and how to inspire compassion and kindness in others. Molly's eyelids got heavy, and she drifted off to Westchester. Well, that's what she's going to try to get back to. That's right. She drifted off to sleep. So let's see. As she fell into deep sleep, Tyler, it's foreshadowing. You're right. Molly felt herself flying above her town and reflecting on the many people who lived in her community. Molly's sadness and disappointment that she found in the beginning of her journey had been replaced with the feelings of hope, grace, and possibilities. She remembered thinking that we all have our unique experiences, gifts, and points of views. So our strengths are sometimes found in our differences, and we also have the capacity to change and choose our words, actions, and thoughts. So the journey of protecting Mother Earth may not be easy, but Molly was committed to making a difference by being the... Make a difference by being the...
Difference.
There you go. So, still dark outside, Molly awoke, surrounded by a familiar environment. Although she was happy to be home, there were many things that she was now grateful for, that she had taken for granted in the past. She quickly grabbed another piece of paper and wrote down all the things she was grateful for, and how her gifts and her newfound knowledge were going to help protect Mother Earth and inspire others to lead a life of kindness and compassion. Molly laid the paper beside the letter she had written to Mother Earth to serve as a constant reminder of her purpose and the power that she has within herself. So she walked over to the attic bedroom window and saw a shower of, what is it? What do you think it is? Shooting stars. Shooting stars. So it was something she had never seen before.
She quickly clutched her gratitude list with both hands and began reading off not only what she was grateful for, but also what she wished for Mother Earth. Molly described in detail what she and others were going to do to help protect Mother Earth so that future generations throughout the world could enjoy a life filled with compassion and kindness. After Molly wished on the shooting stars, it was clear that Mother Earth was trying to send her a message. With stars twinkling across the midnight sky, Molly quickly recited the lesson she had learned that day. Although Molly had trouble seeing the positive side of life in the past, words of inspiration quickly rolled off her tongue. I dream big, love much, and become aware of the past. I embrace change and look for ways to live mindfully. I shine bright, play hard, and take many risks. Fear not. I have the wisdom and perspective to carry on. I am grateful for what I have, and I anticipate my dreams will come true. Every day I choose to make a difference by being the difference and live my best life. Mother Earth was proud of the lessons Molly had learned. Molly felt confident, prepared to dream big and not only protect Mother Earth, but also, Tyler, help herself and others shine bright even when the clouds seem gray. So eventually the lessons Molly learned that day became famously known around the world as the Dream Big, Shine Bright Creed. So the question is, how are you going to choose to dream big, shine bright, and create your best life? At the end, you have your very own creed that you can sign and date it to make it official. So you can always be reminded of the importance of dreaming big and shining bright. I have something, actually, one last thing to share with you. This was my first book that I ever did. And I was a sophomore in high school. And this just shows you that when you dream big, you can shine bright. I didn't know at the time that I was going to become an author. But when you look at this story, I just found this about 4 months ago. And that was after I've authored 4 other books. The same story in here with the alliterations and the words were very similar to my first A Tale of Miss Molly Sunshine. So the mind is a powerful thing. So when you think big, you dream big and you shine bright. So keep living those dreams. Thank you all. You've been a great audience. It took me back in time probably when you were a child, hopefully. But thank you very much for coming. Any questions that you